Rabb. This Rabb is a very profound word. Rabb, it means that's a being that gradually takes someone from the lowest level to the highest level of their competency. Rabb means nurture, the one who nourishes. Rabb means the ones who takes care. Rabb is somebody who fulfills all needs from the cradle to the grave. But the easiest way of understanding Rabb is the one who takes one from the lowest level of competency to the highest level of competency. When a child is born, he is not fed biryanis from the day one. We're not sure about Umar, but a normal child when he is born is not fed biryani from day one. Right? At that point in time, he does not have he is at a lower level of competency. He doesn't have the systems built up for that baby to digest anything else but the mother's milk. Eventually, that child starts growing up, some semi-solid food is introduced, slowly more solids are introduced, and eventually he reaches a stage when he is eating the kormas and biryanis and salans and whatnot, right? So the Rabb who gave the child when he needed, or the being that gave the child when he needed just the milk for his system to be able to digest that, and the one who gave that child the meals that he required to acquire full strength when he was fully grown is Rabb, meaning he gives to one from the lowest level of competency up to the full potential of that being or that creation. Rabb is a nurturer. Rabb is a caretaker. Rabb is somebody who fulfills all needs. Allah is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the ism zat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I am to say that Bilal is my name, but if you were to call me with any other name, say Shaykh Saab, Maulana Saab, or something else, that's an attribute that you're giving to me. But if you were to call me by my name, that's Bilal. Similarly, Allah is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the ism zat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are other names that are there of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but those are sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is also called by those attributes, but those are calling by somebody's attribute, right? Not by their actual name. Among the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most jame, the most comprehensive, the most powerful, the most encompassing, the most well-rounded sift, or the most well-rounded attribute is Rabb. And therefore in Quran you would see that Rabb is repeatedly invoked. All the Anbiya alayhi salam who are to call upon Allah, they would call upon Allah using the word Rabb. That's why we see when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quotes a dua of any Nabi, it's Rabbana, Rabbi, right? Because they would call on to Allah as Rabb. When we are to call somebody with a need, we call them with a name of affection, right? Rabb is an extremely affectionate name. It's an extremely affectionate name, right? Somebody used to say to call his father Abu, but when he wants something, he says Abu Jan, right? Now suddenly a Jan is added to it, right? So that Rabb is that affection-filled name, because the name in itself has somebody who would only think of your good interest, who only wishes well for you, somebody who only wants you to have good. That's Rabb. The reason I say that Rabb is the most jame, the most comprehensive of all the names, is because it is said that Rabb is one who is benevolent. Rabb is one who is merciful. Rabb is one who is wise. Rabb is one who has the power. And Rabb is one who is the best of the administrators, who executes and who arranges things. So the one who has these who has benevolence, who has mercy, who has wisdom, who has power, and who is a most executive administrator. This is the one who has Rabubiyat in him. And Allah has all these 5 things in him, all at the same time, all full of affection. Because you may have power, you have the power to execute, you have the wisdom, you have mercy, you have benevolence, but you may not be using them for the benefit of the people at all the times. But when we call upon Rabb, they are all used for positivity at all the time. Rabb is an extremely powerful, merciful, loving, caring word. And you would find it amazing that in Quran, even when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is at times warning against severe punishments, Allah would use the word Rabb in those ayats, and the Mufassirin say that is to hint upon the fact that 2 things. Number 1, that if you are to get these punishments from Rabb, that means you have really, really, really pushed the limits. And the second is that the one who is warning you of these punishments is Rabb. It doesn't take anything to come on the other side with the Rabb. All you have to do is just look up and say, Ya Allah, I'm sorry. That's all it takes. As long as you're alive, as long as you have strength, as long as the sun has not risen from the other side of the horizon, you can do istighfar. The doors of istighfar are open. Rabb is so merciful that he takes care of you not just in this dunya, but even after you have passed away. How so? If you have a child, if you have left children who continue to do good deeds, the good deeds of your children will become a source of mercy for you. If we lose a parent, we should not lose hope with that, because Allah has given us an opportunity now to make up for our parents what we could not have done for them in this dunya. Every single good deed that we do would be a source of mercy for our parents. Every time we read Quran, if we make a niyyah that the sawab of it goes back to our parents, it will go back to our parents. Every good that we do, the benefit of it goes back to our parents. Our parents may not have earned as much good themselves as they can earn by the goodness that we do for them. So we should never feel that, oh, Allah took away my father, what can I do? So